Hello. How is everybody doing tonight? You see, I just did this show. All right. I did this show about 15 minutes ago, but then I forgot to actually put my live broadcast on via Spreaker. So I was basically just talking to my friends on Facebook. And you know what? It's all good because I love this. And we're going to talk about Deadpool 2 today. Now, I could talk about other things, but I figure why not? Let's just talk about Deadpool 2 for today. And I'll be speaking about other things such as the comics that came throughout the week, wrestling. Yeah, a lot has happened since I last did a show. Wrestling is just like insane right now. We have Ronda Rousey about to go face Nia Jax for the women's Raw title. I'm not really sure how it's going to work, to be honest with you, because I don't really see who can, you can't, I don't know if it's possible to really suspend disbelief that much to where you think someone has an actual chance against Ronda in terms of storyline wise. I really don't see it because she's been dominant so long, but it is what it is. And let me just get off the subject of wrestling just for now. I might get back to it later, but let's talk about Deadpool. Okay, Deadpool 2. But first and foremost, I must say, before we talk about Deadpool, there's a new movie coming out, and I saw it in the previews of for Deadpool 2 was the Happy Time Murders. And when that movie first came on the screen for when the previews came out, it seemed all cool, like a nice wholesome movie, something like Ted, right? Like the little teddy bear. But then it just went ape shit crazy. Sorry for my French, but it just went nuts out of nowhere. You saw puppets getting killed off, puppets busting nuts. It was just insane. I'm like, what just happened here? And the whole theater was just laughing. So I expect this movie to have a lot of controversy. And also, before I like talking about things that I find funny. I think you folks owe it to yourself to watch The Last OG, one of the most underrated shows right now, and it's on TBS. You guys got to watch it. It's with Tracy Morgan, who just came out of jail, and seeing how this new gentrified version of Brooklyn is, and it's a major, culture shock. So I think you would probably like it, So let's get to Deadpool 2. Which officially came out today. Now, there's some people that says Deadpool doesn't match the original. I don't believe that. You got people who just want to complain about everything. In my opinion, this was, much more fun than the first one, We had so many characters in this movie, and there's going to be spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I can understand, and we could listen to a taped, recorded version of this later, not the live broadcast. But I think by the time you listen to this, more than likely you probably will have seen the movie. But if you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want to be spoiled, then please do not listen to the next 15 minutes of this show. Okay? So, like I just said, I got the chance to see Deadpool, and it was a fun ride, okay? In my humble opinion, okay, I'd like to say this movie was quite an improvement from the first one. They added more characters, and the first one was great to begin with. I just enjoyed the fact that this movie, I will say it wasn't quite as super action-packed as the first, but still same on par, and they kept this movie very lighthearted, Originally, I thought this movie was going to be garbage. I'm not going to lie. And here's why I thought it was going to be garbage. Because the director from the first movie left. Okay? And he left due to creative differences based on it was reported that he wanted a flashy mega budget superhero movie, and Ryan Reynolds and company weren't having that. So, I thought the movie this time around, it would just suck or something like that, because I'm like, oh man, the first director made this movie real cool. Now I don't know what to expect, but I think it was cool for Deadpool 2 to like keep his cheesiness and not have one of those like big superhero feels like, the Avengers. Let's leave that to Marvel. And I think this is great because, it's Deadpool. It's supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to be cheap looking CGI, It's supposed to be just, some form of controlled chaos, and I think they did a great job. And another thing is, I bring the subject of X-Force, right? I'm not sure what continuity Deadpool lies in, but he's definitely in some kind of X-Men universe, because the X-Men were in the film for about 5 seconds, and that was pretty cool. That's more than, the Gifted shows, and the Gifted is a good show. Let's not get that twisted. It's a very, very cool show, but it was cool to see the X-Men inside Deadpool 2. The movie starts off with Deadpool doing what he does best, and that's just like comic books. He's just taking out a bunch of like mafia bosses or like yakuzas, and those sequences are pretty cool of him doing all that stuff. It's pretty cool, but it also shows that he's trying to kill himself, and I'm trying to wonder, okay, he's in the apartment that he shares with his girlfriend, and he's trying to take himself out, and I'm trying to figure out, I know what happens. And this is what happens, because it's a movie and you need drama to make the movie a good movie. So basically, his lovely lady dies in their apartment, and he goes on like, he tries to take himself out, whatever, but Colossus tries to console him. And I think Colossus is a very great character. Who says CG characters aren't cool? And I think Colossus was a very cool character in the movie. He got to fight, spoiler alert, it was great to actually see a live action, or whatever it is, CGI of Colossus fighting the Juggernaut. And I heard that the Juggernaut was actually played by Ryan Reynolds, which was pretty cool. So I don't think anybody's going to be, of course, there's people who's going to nitpick at everything, but I think this version of Juggernaut will suffice. I think he was, I wouldn't say he was the main villain in the movie, but he was like the major part, the powerhouse, he does a lot of damage. And the kid Fire Fist, I think that's what his name is. It's basically Deadpool trying to stop Fire Fist from becoming a major villain in the future. It's stopping him from, killing Cable's daughter and wife in the future. Hope and Hope's mother, and it's basically that. It's a similar premise to Looper, where Bruce Willis is trying to stop It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt is stopping Bruce Willis from killing the mother of the Rainmaker, and then preventing him from becoming a monster in the future that's killing all the loopers. Yeah, you get where I'm going with this. So one thing I didn't understand, a few things about the movie, and the movie is great, okay? Don't get me wrong. Of course, there's certain things, that kind of a little bothered me a bit, but hey, it is what it is. My thing is this, right? I was wondering, the assassins that came to Wade's house to take him out, don't they realize that Wade basically heals quickly? So I'm not sure why they still use conventional weapons against the guy. I really don't. And another thing is, why does Deadpool walk into his apartment with his suit on? I mean, he's clearly a marked man. He's killed hundreds of like criminals and, bosses all over the world, all over the globe. And he just walks in and like it's nothing. Hey, baby, but hey, couldn't he just wear do the Marvel thing where like the Captain America thing where like you're trying to hide from people from seeing you. So you wear these glasses and you wear like a Yankee cap. But hey, I might be asking for too much. And another thing too is that I felt like there was just way too much fourth wall breaking. You know, it's cool, but I feel like I mean, that's the thing Deadpool does. You know, he says, oh, he knows he's a comic book character. But another thing is just the fact, like, it was fun for a moment, you know, but then after a while, it kind of got a little bit annoying, you know. Like the credit scenes were a little bit, I see what they were going for and, you know, supposed to be witty and stuff. But it's like, whatever, dude. But hey, I'm just nitpicking, you know? And I gotta say the other characters were pretty cool. I gotta say Cable was good. You know, Cable, the guy fits the epitome of who Cable is. Of course, he's shorter, but it's all cool. I think Josh Brolin is going to be a great Cable for the future. And I'd love to see him in the franchises of the X-Force, you know, like as the leader, or maybe Domino might be the leader. And God, I got to say, Zazie Beetz did a very great job. She just like stole the whole show with her scenes, you know, especially Domino and the luck and all that other good stuff. And guys, you got to see the X-Force. The X-Force, they have a very important scene that you got to watch. You know, Shatterstar just being a total like jerk. You know, you have Bedlam. You got to see the point. Like, there's a scene in the movie where you're gonna laugh or cry. You know, based on your sense of humor and your wavelength. Yanni, Laurel. Okay, happy. Yeah. So anyway, one thing I gotta say though about Deadpool. Deadpool has a heart. Deadpool, that's one of his biggest superhero powers. Of course, he's an assassin. Of course, he heals quickly. But one of the things that sets him apart from these other characters, you know, like, especially like DC characters. That's one of my biggest problems with DC characters. They're all brooding and angry and all that other stuff. I'm not trying to bash DC per se, but, you know, I gotta say, like, he showed more heart than all members of the Justice League combined in that movie, The Justice League. And look, I know it sounds like I'm bashing the Justice League and DC universe, but I'm not. It's just an opinion. You know, I know how people get all angry and stuff about things, but truth is, like, okay, when I say DC, I'm not talking about all of DC, because clearly Grant Gustin does a very good job with Barry Allen the Flash, and Barry Allen the Flash has such a great heart that he's willing to just destroy the timelines just for anything. But Deadpool does the same thing too. He goes back in timeline and he changes a bunch of things. So that's up to you to see too. The second, I believe this, he goes back in time and basically changes up the whole, like, fixes a lot of wrongs in this movie. So I don't know by undoing the movie if the movie really ever happened, but what I got to say is this movie was great. It showed like the heart that an anti-hero slash villain, I don't know what Deadpool really is, but it just showed that Deadpool, one of the biggest things about him, like what makes him, sets him apart, is that he has a heart of gold. Not a gold, but he does care about kids and his woman, you know, and that was very, very, very important. So I'm just going to keep this brief. I'm not really going to talk too much. This was fun, right? I haven't really done a podcast in a while, and I'm really trying to go back hard on this. You know, I really want to do this. This is one of the few things that really make me happy in this universe. Being able to talk to everybody, interact with everybody. Not so much the trolls, of course, but, you know, just having fun. We talk about comic books. We talk about movies. We talk about wrestling. And maybe, you know, if time permits, we could talk about things happening in the world, politics, and things of that nature. So, yeah, you could disagree. We can agree. But hey, you're listening to Mr. Chatty. Thank you. Good night.